Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land within the Shire of Chittering, the Yuwit and the Whadjuk peoples. We'd like to pay respects to the elders of the Noongar Nation, past and present, who have walked and cared for the land. We acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the contributions made to this region. Declare the meeting open at 7 p.m. Please note, as per Council Resolution 130423, this meeting is being live streamed. So item 2, record of attendances, apologies, approved leave of absence. Attendance, we have the following members in attendance. Myself, the President, Councillor David Yuwit, Deputy President, Councillor Mary Angus, Councillor John Curtis, Councillor Big Fox Taylor, and Councillor Nicholas Gray and Councillor Carly Hughes. The following staff are in attendance: Melinda Princely, the Chief Executive Officer, Scott Clayton, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Leah Paduto, Executive Manager Technical Services, Jake Whistler, Executive Manager Development Services, Danae Kerr, Executive Assistant, and Sue Mills, Finance Manager. So member of public, there are 6, and media, there are no. Approved leave of absence, there are no. So councillors, to advise of their attendance in their role as an elected member at community activities and meetings. As the Chief Executive Office looks after some, not all, appointments for the President and Deputy President, the agenda includes only these meetings. Councillors are therefore requested to provide additional information at the ordinary meeting of Council for inclusion in the minutes. Councillors, are there any additions to be added to that list? No. Thank you. Item 3, disclosure of interest. Councillors must declare to the President any potential conflict of interest they may have in the matter before the Shire Council as soon as they become aware of it. We have Councillor Big Fox Taylor, who has a proximity interest, and the nature is property near the boundary that borders on the Bindoon landfill site. The extent is the proximity to the Bindoon landfill site. Councillors, any of you aware of any other interest? No. So item 4, public question time. Public question time limited to 15 minutes in total. Each member of the public is limited to 2 minutes to ask their question. Questions are to be limited to 2 per person, and they must state their name and address, then ask their question. Is there any member of the public wishing to ask a question? None? Thank you. Item 5, presentations, deputations, petitions. Presentations, there are nil. Deputation, we have 1 DP 010226, Jenny Hall Mache. Jenny speaking on item DS 010226, reconsideration of application for development approval, building envelope relocation, lot 201, rural number 99, Polynini Road, Lower Chittering. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to Council. As you're already all aware, I'm Jenny Hall, Bailey Hall's mother. Our family has lived in this community for over 30 years. During that time, we have contributed countless volunteer hours and still currently do to local sporting clubs and community groups. I have personally served on Shire committees and working groups, including the Community Planning Advisory Committee and Group and the Mushay Industrial Park Steering Group. That history reflects our long-standing commitment to and pride in this community. For that reason, the lack of transparency, poor process and absence of professionalism shown by Shire officers in Bailey's case has been extremely disappointing. Bailey is attempting to establish his future in the same Shire he grew up in, played sport in and continues to volunteer in. Instead, he is being treated as though he is a criminal, despite there being other clearing matters on a much larger scale that have not been escalated or pursued to the same extent as his. Bailey has taken responsibility for his actions. He has acknowledged he made a mistake and has apologised on multiple occasions at council meetings. For those who have opposed him, it must be reassuring to have never made a mistake themselves or to have children who never have. Bailey also noted he did the clearing himself, but it was implied at the April council meeting that our business was responsible for carrying out the unapproved clearing. At the ordinary council meeting on 16th of April last year, I asked the following question: how many cases on a similar scale to 99 Polinelli Road relating to clearing prior to approval have been followed up or referred to DEWA in the last 5 years where any action was taken? The answer, in short, was nil. I find it very difficult to believe that Bailey's case is the first of its kind in 5 years, and in fact I know it is not, but maybe the first that Shire staff have decided to escalate. That answer alone explains why we believe there has been clear prejudice and inconsistent enforcement/reporting by Shire officers in this matter, even different advice depending on which planning officer responded. DEWA have issued letters of education to other ratepayers who have illegally cleared but not pursued anyone like they have Bailey. DEWA has also implemented a VCN on Bailey's block, one of only 2 in the last year. The other is for clearing of 1,200 acres, and Bailey's for clearing of what he still stands by is only around 5,000 square metres. Why is Bailey being treated the same as somebody on a much larger scale by DEWA? Who is driving the push from DEWA to pursue Bailey's case so harshly? I've got a handout here of some other examples. As you will see from the handouts, the before and after examples, obviously addresses are withheld, and we would like the copies back as well, please. How can we not compare Bailey's case to other examples on much larger scales, as this shows the inconsistencies with penalties or the lack of in some cases? On a couple of occasions, the planning officers have said that DEWA's case against Bailey is a completely separate case to that of the Shire of Chittering's. So why is Shire staff ringing DEWA to find out where they are at with their investigation? The planning report for this council meeting should only be based on what is relevant to the Shire's case against Bailey, not what DEWA are doing if they are supposedly 2 separate cases. Bailey's case was referred to DEWA by the Shire of Chittering for comment 2 months after he submitted his application, and yet I have evidence of another case that it took 5 months for Shire officers to refer it to DEWA. Again, you can see how we come to the conclusion of goalpost moving and inconsistencies. After the April 2025 council meeting, we consulted with an ex-CEO of 30-odd years for his opinion on Bailey's case. He read the first page of the planning officer's report from that meeting and stated he felt it was a stitch-up. Bailey has worked proactively on a revegetation plan with Chittering Landcare to rehabilitate another area of the property to offset the clearing. Importantly, the 7 large trees within the current approved envelope remain standing. Black cockatoo nests have also been installed, and Bailey has replanted some plants last winter to begin the rehab process. Bailey still believes the hectares cleared that the Shire officers are claiming to be incorrect. Bailey believes he has cleared approximately 5,000 square metres and pruned low-hanging branches on all trees for bushfire mitigation in the rest of the area the Shire is claiming he has fully cleared. His property was never a complete bush block and had large areas of no trees or bush, like other properties around his. The current rehab plan would mean Bailey would lose the use of most of his property due to revegetation being more than what was cleared. Parkland clearing is actively occurring on numerous properties throughout the Shire, so penalising one person is not fair or reasonable. As for the officer's report stating no clearing around 99 Polinelli Road has taken place, I feel this statement to be misleading, as you only have to drive around Chittering to see for yourself that clearing activity is definitely occurring, as well as reports to the Shire from ratepayers. Shire planning officers were obviously consulted with the removal of the large trees at the Mouchet Recreation Centre a few years ago to make room for new netball courts. What was the strong planning reason to justify removing them, and where is the trees replacing what were removed? I also add the one tree that was left on Archibald Street has died. I don't have any issue with removing them for progress, but I feel that is a perfect example of double standards. The plan making Bailey replant double of what he cleared is ridiculous. Can Shire officers show another example of rehabilitation occurring of double the area that has been cleared anywhere else in the Shire? To our knowledge, no other property in Shire of Chittering has had to implement such a large revegetation plan on such a small scale of clearing. What is particularly concerning is that Shire officers have selectively scrutinised and challenged Chittering Landcare's rehabilitation plan that is in the current report, but didn't do that with the Landcare revegetation plan presented to Council in September last year. The moving of goalposts demonstrates further inconsistencies, and council officers are still recommending refusal of the envelope relocation, even though the plan has accommodated the requests of council officers. It raises the question, are officers deliberately prolonging this process, thereby increasing Bailey's financial burden through his continued town planner involvement? Advice to councillors, should they want to support Bailey's application, was to raise an alternate motion, but that motion must have a valid planning reason. Over the nearly 18 months of this case dragging on, our family has watched live streams of Shire of Chittering council meetings going back a number of years. We found meetings where alternate motions were put forward that didn't have valid planning reasons, so why is that the advice to councillors? The 3 times this case has been presented to council meetings, one of the Shire officers' recommendations of refusal was on the grounds of it sets a precedent. Setting a precedent, I don't believe, is a strong planning reason to refuse this application. I feel there could be misleading information to councillors which doesn't allow them to make a non-biased decision. There are valid planning reasons for approving the envelope relocation, such as protection of the 7 large trees in the current envelope, one which has the potential to form a cockatoo nest, as well as one of the 3 trees Bailey has had artificial nests installed in. The Shire planning scheme also has provisions within that scheme for building envelope relocations. Bailey's surrounding neighbours are in full support of the relocation of his building envelope, as you can see from their emails forming part of the agenda report. Bailey had no choice but to involve a private town planner consultant and seek legal advice to navigate him through this process, dealing with 3 Shire planners at times and being given conflicting information. A professional perspective was required to navigate the inconsistent and conflicting information coming from the Shire. To date, Bailey and Keeley have spent close to $32,000 in town planning consultant fees alone, with another invoice still to be received for this month. He has also lost significant work time attending meetings and SAT hearings. The length of time this matter has dragged on has taken a considerable personal, financial and emotional toll. I actually have copies of the invoices if anybody requires proof. The costs associated with purchasing plants to rehab, as the plan is now, will cost around $7,500 per year. With the current plan, Bailey would be required to rehab areas of his block that never originally had bush or trees on it. A more manageable plan on a fairer scale would be much more achievable and the best environmental outcome, as it would be more manageable. Will the Shire take legal action against Bailey should he not be able to continue to afford the $7,500 per year as per the planning officer's advice at the agenda for him? It would be a very sad situation and would reflect extremely bad on the Shire of Chittering to treat a ratepayer like that, given what this lengthy, unnecessary situation has already cost Bailey in more ways than one, and what seems to be a very selective and inconsistent criteria process with DEWA reporting and Shire enforcement. Bailey's initial application was lodged on the 9th of September 2024. After numerous follow-up emails, he finally received a response on the 22nd of January 2025. Response time was well and truly over 90 days, truly over the 90 days that he was advised in writing that the process could take. The outcome of Bailey's application from the September 2025 council meeting was published in the Shire of Chittering's e-Chatter October 25 newsletter before Bailey or his town planner were officially advised by Shire staff. On emailing Shire officers chasing up the official refusal of his application, Bailey expressed his concerns of the general public being officially advised before the applicant. He was told by Shire officers that they thought they had emailed it. I also have a copy of that e-Chatter newsletter showing Bailey's refusal in it. There was also delays by Shire officers having the reports ready for council meetings, meaning Bailey's case would be delayed another month. Bailey delayed it going to council for the August meeting as he was away, even though advice given to him was that all should be fine for it to go to council while you're away. You don't need to be there. So it doesn't reflect well on the Shire when a ratepayer contacted me on the 27th of November last year to report seeing the Executive Manager of Development Services and a Senior Planning Officer hammering in no trespassing signs on Mouchet East Road. Most ratepayers would reasonably expect that officers' time would be better spent addressing approval backlogs and responding to applications, particularly when there has been numerous delays and a lack of timely communication with Bailey's case. I personally have and still do work closely at times with different departments in the Shire. I've always found most staff to be extremely willing and helpful, even at times where negotiation of a fair outcome for all was required. Again, I feel there was a prejudice shown against Bailey's case right from the start. This matter has now been to SAT twice, at a significant cost to ratepayers through Shire staff attendance time, time to prepare reports, all of which could have been avoided through a more reasonable, transparent and consistent approach. The April and September 2025 ordinary council meetings that Bailey's case was presented at both recorded the highest live stream views in a number of years. Numerous ratepayers have contacted us to share their own experiences of clearing matters, some that were reported and then ignored by Shire officers, reinforcing the inconsistency highlighted by the Shire's own response to my question at the April 2025 council meeting. The Shire's Strategic Community Plan 2024 to 2034, Strategy 5.4 speaks of accountability, transparency and building trust. Unfortunately, I feel this process has demonstrated the opposite: poor communication, a lack of transparency in decision-making and advice given to Bailey and his town planner. Common sense, fairness and the best environmental outcome would be achieved by approving the envelope relocation with appropriate rehabilitation, allowing the 7 large trees in the existing envelope to be retained. I ask Council tonight to consider the best and fairest environmental outcome, the unnecessary cost to both Bailey and the Shire of Chittering, the demonstrated inconsistency, lack of transparent communication and prejudice that we feel has occurred, and what is fair and reasonable given everything that has transpired. Does anybody have any questions or need anything clarified?
I suppose there were a lot of questions there. Were they rhetorical, or
Rhetorical.
You wouldn't like a response?
No, that's fine.
Okay. I'm good from my
Okay,
side.
thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Petitions, there are nil. Item 6, applications for leave of absence. Councillors, do we have anyone requesting leave? Request for leave? No. Item 7, confirmation of minutes. We have the ordinary council meeting of the 10th of December 2025 to receive those minutes. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Angus. A seconder? Thank you, Councillor Beck-Foxtaylor. Would you like to speak to it?
I saw them as a true reflection of the meeting. Thank you.
Councillor Foxtaylor.
I support Councillor Angus's comment. I thought they were a true reflection of the meeting as well.
Any councillor want to speak against it? For it? Write a reply, Councillor Angus.
Not required.
All good. Put it to vote. All in favour? Carried 7-0. So item 8, announcements from the presiding member, there are nil. Item 9, reports, there are nil. Development Services, DS010226, reconsideration of application for development approval, building envelope relocation of 201 Polanelli Road, Lower Chittering. Please note there is an alternative motion that has been submitted for this item. The officer's recommendation will be considered first. If that motion lapses or is lost, I will move the alternative motion, which is subject to a seconder, which will become the substantive motion. The alternative motion, I will read out now, is that Council grants development approval for the building envelope relocation on lots 201 Polanelli Road, Lower Chittering, subject to the following conditions. All development shall be contained within the approved building envelope unless otherwise approved by the Shire. The landowner shall revegetate the land in accordance with the approved revegetation plan of Chittering Land Care Centre, December 2025, including all planting, maintenance and monitoring requirements in perpetuality. So we have the officer's recommendation to refuse the removing of the envelope. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Angus. Councillor Curtis, you want to speak to it?
Yes, Mr President. The officer's recommendation is that the council, pursuant to State Admin Tribunal 2004, maintains its refusal as per decisions DSO2 925 to not approve the application for the development approval to relocate the building envelope at 99 Polinelli Road, Lower Chittering, for the following reasons. The application is inconsistent with the Shire of Chittering Local Planning Scheme number 6, and second, the application is inconsistent with the endorsed local structure plan due to the amount of remnant vegetation that has been removed. Now, all these applications, now these building envelopes that we're talking about, they're put in place to preserve our rural character and conserve our protect our flora and fauna. That's what they've been put in place for. These conditions are a result of what our residents have made quite clear through our previous strategic community plans, which have been going on forever. I've been on council, and now, just recently, our council plan, which we've gone through. Now, this they want the council to protect our environment. That's what these council plan, our residents, 7,000 residents in the Shire, have, the majority want the council to look after the environment, which is our natural vegetation. That's what people want, not what one person wants, to destroy it. Now, the applicant has chosen deliberately to clear this protected vegetation. There's no regard for the community or our planning laws, like I just said. Now, we have processes to follow, and the applicant has chosen to go his own way. So he's brought all this on himself. All these costs he's blaming on the Shire. It's going to cost the Shire this and that. Well, it's his fault, not the Shire's fault or our residents. He's brought it on himself. You can't say anything else. Now, council can't let these actions undermine our planning department. Otherwise, what have we got plans for? Might as well chuck everything out the window if we let somebody come and just take it to their advantage, you know. That's basically what I've got to say on the matter. Got other things here, but yeah, that's basically it for me on that.
Thanks, Councillor Curtis. Councillor Angus.
Thank you. The photographs that have been provided to us with the agenda from February 22 and then again from September 2024 show the area of the proposed relocation of the building envelope and the driveway, both before and after the illegal clearing of mature vegetation. Had the applicant applied for a relocation of the building envelope prior to the destruction of the vegetation and compacting of the ground, I believe that it's likely that council would have considered and approved a degree of variation to the position of the building envelope, whilst also taking into consideration the placement of vegetation on the property. However, it's also my belief that council would never have approved the placement that the applicant now requests after the clearing has occurred. This relocation attempt has breached our Local Planning Scheme 6 as noted in the agenda. Local Planning Scheme 6, Clause 3.2.8, Objectives of the Rural Residential Zone, in that the natural environment has been significantly impacted. The building envelope for this property was strategically identified in the structure plan to avoid unnecessary vegetation removal, particularly the removal of high quality vegetation to meet the requirement of Local Planning Scheme 6 Schedule 12, which deals with conditions specific to that land area. Adjoining landowners, although they have stated they are not opposed to the application, have remained within their allocated building envelopes and have not conducted a legal clearing. The unapproved development has significant impact on the environment, the character of the locality and the social impact of unapproved development. In our Strategic Community Plan 2024 to 2034, one of our strategic objectives is to, quote, preserve natural resources and ecosystems for current and future generations by promoting sustainability and environmental stewardship, unquote. While the current proposal of revegetation will present a positive environmental outcome when assessed against the current state of the property following the illegal clearing, it does not present the same positive environmental outcome as the proposed building envelope being revegetated and reverted to its state prior to the illegal clearing. If the proposed building envelope is approved, this would compromise the Shire's ability to have revegetation occur in that location, which could further contribute to fragmentation of vegetation in this locality. While I accept that setting an undesirable precedent is not a determinative planning consideration and that each application should be determined on its own merits, it's important to acknowledge that approval of this application may establish an undesirable expectation within the community that unauthorised clearing for development can simply obtain a retrospective approval. There have been numerous instances in the past where applicants have referenced previous approvals or instances of non-compliance to support approval of their own application, which we've just witnessed in the deputation and the photographs. A vegetation conservation notice was applied to the property by DWER in September 2025, which prohibits any further clearing and construction within the proposed building envelope. Should Council approve this application, the landowner could not build without an appeal to DWER to have the conservation notice revoked. An appeal needed to be made within 21 days of the notice, which was by the 3rd of October 2025. Ignorance is not a defence. It's the responsibility of the landowner purchaser to investigate what they can or can't do on their property, or even what plans there are for surrounding areas that may or may not impact them in the future. These are considerations to be made when purchasing a property. Yes, Bailey made a mistake, but he could easily have put that right sometime early last year by agreeing to build in the building envelope and revegetate his mistake. The Shire initially refused the application to relocate the building envelope in April 2025, then upheld the refusal in September 2025, and now with 2 new councillors and 1 returning councillor, it comes before us yet again. I'm aware that reaffirmed refusal will likely proceed to a formal SAT hearing, which may attract a cost, but we have a responsibility to our ratepayers and to our entire community. I'd also like to highlight that there's been a breach of the Code of Conduct in regards to this item, in that 3 councillors who are about to vote on this item have failed their legal obligation at least twice to disclose an impartiality interest, which is, quote, an interest that could or could reasonably be perceived to adversely affect the impartiality of the person having the interest, as per the Model Code of Conduct 2021, Schedule 1, Division 4, Clause 22(1)(a). Also the Local Government Administration Regulations, Part 4A, Division 1, Regular 19AA, and the Shire of Chittering Policy 4.1, Code of Conduct Elected Members, Division 424(1)(a). The interest is perceived given that the 3 councillors in question had their recent election and re-election campaigns widely advertised on social media by and signage produced and erected by family members of the applicant. Immediately following the election, those councillors confirmed in chambers that they were aware of the advertising and illegal signage, and this was followed by 1 councillor trying to bring this item back to the first council meeting after the election, before being advised to await the outcome of the imminent SAT mediation session. Could this signage even be considered an electoral gift, which might escalate this to an interest with more severe penalties? Failure to declare an impartiality interest is a breach of the rule of conduct. Consistently failing to declare impartiality interests as a council member may be considered a recurrent breach, which can be referred to SAT for sanctions, including suspension or disqualification from serving as a council member. I trust councillors will be mindful of this for future discussions. I will be supporting the officer's recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Any members want to speak against the item? Thank you, Councillor Hughes.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. I wish to speak in favour of the alternative motion for this item to approve the building envelope relocation at lot 201 Polinelli Road, Lower Chittering, with strict revegetation conditions as read out at the beginning of the
Point of order, are we
item.
not discussing the
Yes,
officer recommendation?
the officer's recommendation. Sorry.
So I'm speaking
Councillor Hughes.
against the officer recommendation
Yep.
because I am in favour of the alternative motion for these reasons, which is the adverse of, like, this is why I'm against the officer recommendation.
Okay, let's proceed.
This issue has a long history, but what's before us tonight is not the same application council refused last year. The applicant has worked through the SAP process, re-engaged Chittering Landcare and expanded the revegetation plan to over 10,000 square metres, more than was originally cleared. This demonstrates both accountability and willingness to restore the site. Approving the proposal will achieve a net environmental gain, delivering a structured revegetation program and long-term land stewardship under council oversight. The plan is enforceable, monitored, ensuring genuine rehabilitation, not just promises. Let's also acknowledge the reality. The existing approved envelope is at the front of the property, which includes 7 established trees, one of which has been identified as Carnaby cockatoo nesting and all our habitat areas, which would be preserved and enhanced under the current proposal to relocate the building envelope to the area already cleared. In addition, this revised proposal incorporates a responsible approach to bushfire management, consistent with State Planning Policy 3.7, planning in bushfire-prone areas. The amended site layout allows for compliant asset protection zones, safe vehicle access and accounting for limited water availability for firefighting, as there's no reticulated water. These design measures ensure the dwelling location can achieve an appropriate bushfire attack level, BAL rating, while maintaining vegetation buffers and ensuring occupant safety. The model demonstrates that environmental restoration and bushfire resilience can coexist through sound design and enforceable management plans. Our planning scheme allows council to exercise discretion where a variation is considered desirable and will not harm amenity or environmental objectives. This case meets that test. The proposed building location is more practical, less visible, and with proper revegetation environmentally preferable. Concerns about precedent are understandable, but each application must be assessed on its own facts. Approval with strong conditions does not excuse past clearing. It demonstrates that council supports restoration through compliance, not ongoing stalemate. In conclusion, councillors, after nearly a year of investigation, mediation and negotiation, we have before us a substantially improved proposal. A larger and enforceable revegetation plan, clear environmental monitoring obligations, a building location with reduced visual and ecological impact, and the opportunity to bring this matter to a productive conclusion. Reducing vulnerability to bushfire is a collective responsibility of state and local governments, landowners and the community. Refusal will simply return the issue to the State Administrative Tribunal, prolonging uncertainty and expenditure. Approval with conditions, however, will achieve immediate restoration on the ground, deliver a better environmental result and draw a firm line under this matter. For these reasons, I urge my fellow councillors to support the alternative motion to grant development approval for the building envelope relocation at lot 201 Polinelli Road, Lower Chittering. So refusing the officer's recommendation. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Hughes. Any other councillors speaking against or for? I'll speak against it. I won't be supporting the officer's recommendation to refuse the relocation of the building envelope. I do acknowledge the seriousness of the unauthorised clearing that took place, but I believe it's important that Bailey Hall has already paid a significant price for this area. So I'll be supporting the alternative motion and not approving the the officer's recommendation. Write a reply to
So what are we voting on, the alternative or the substantial
No,
motion?
The
Officer's
motion,
recommendation.
the officer's recommendation before you
Oh,
to decline or not approve the relocation of the block, the building
I want
envelope.
to support the officer's recommendation.
If you support
Is
it,
that what we're voting for now?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, these alternative motions, I don't know why, if you want an alternative motion,
This is your right to reply, Councillor Curtis.
yeah. Well, look, this applicant, he purchased this lot in 2022. The Shire records show that. And on the building envelope was confirmed, and it was on the rates and property inquiry form, which he would have got, or his settlement agency would have got, and would have informed him about it. We should have had a copy of it. So he knew all along of the situation on that property he bought. Now, you can't go and buy a property, you wouldn't buy a property without knowing where you can build it, and what you're allowed to put on your land. So he knows what he's up for, and now the applicants are saying, oh, they're going to cost the Shire for not, stopping him from doing this. Well, he's brought it on himself. He wants to go to SAT, let him go to SAT. That's all I got to say. And this building envelope was illustrated on the form, so he definitely knew where it was. And he can build a pine forest there, or tropical forest for all I care, but he's destroyed the natural vegetation. And since Captain Cook's come here, 70% of our land's been cleared. There's only 30% left. We're going to let all our properties end up like this? It's ridiculous. We should.
Point of order, this is right of reply.
Huh?
Yep.
You're only allowed to reply to information we've shared, not introduce new information.
Well, all right. That's also, I've got to remind fellow councillors here that we've got a council plan, and it's up to you to look after what our majority of our community wants, and they want us to protect the environment, not for one person to do what they want to do and destroy everything, what we're trying to achieve.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Can we put the motion to the vote? All in favour? All those against? Thank you. Carried 2-5. So now, yep, so it's lost. Thank you. Not carried, lost. Thank you. So I will now move the alternative motion, which is grant development approval for the building envelope relocation of lot 201 Polynilly Road. So I'll move it. I'll be seeking the seconder. Thank you, Councillor Hughes. So we've been asked once again to refuse Bailey Hall's application for the relocation of the building envelope at lot 201 Polynilly Road. The officer recommendation is based on the assertion that the application is inconsistent with our local planning scheme, the endorsed structure plan, and it sets an undesirable precedent for an unauthorised clearing of native vegetation. I acknowledge the seriousness of this unauthorised clearing that has taken place. However, I believe it is important to recognise Bailey Hall has already paid a significant price for his error. The applicant's actions have been subject to investigation by the Shire and DEWA, resulting in a VCN being placed over the property. Additionally, Bailey has responded constructively, engaging Chittering Landcare to prepare an amended vegetation plan that exceeds the area originally cleared. The applicant has committed to a staged replanting program, increasing both the number of seedlings and the revegetation area, demonstrating a genuine effort to rectify his mistake. We must also consider the practical reality. The land has been cleared, and the applicant is now offering to revegetate a larger area than that was removed. The revised plan provides revegetation with over 3,000 seedlings per year over the 3-year period. This is a positive environmental outcome and is in the Shire's interest to ensure that the remediation occurs quickly and effectively. While the officer's recommendation is technically correct and his interpretation of the planning framework, it does not fully account for the applicant's willingness to remediate, nor the fact that punitive measures and compliance actions are still available to us. The applicant has faced public scrutiny, legal uncertainty, and the financial cost of remediation. to continue to refuse the application despite the efforts risks punishing the applicant beyond what is reasonable and may discourage others from coming forward to rectify their own mistakes. I support the alternative recommendation to approve the building envelope relocation, subject to the strict conditions requiring full compliance with the revegetation plan or ongoing monitoring. This approach balances the need for environmental restoration with fairness and proportionality in the decision making. Let us recognise that Bailey Hall has paid the price for their error and allow them the opportunity to move forward, remediate the land and contribute positively to our community. Thank you. Councillor Hughes.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. So in addition to my comments in the previous motion, I think it's important to note that this wasn't reckless clearing with 2 bulldozers and a chain straight through this block. All of the giant trees have been preserved. They've been trimmed in line with bushfire maintenance of the block to make it more compliant with State Planning Policy 3.7 and the regulations. And this is a requirement in all bushfire-prone areas. And I think that this is something that we do need to be more mindful about, that the environment does need to be balanced with livability and property and personal safety. This is a block that's zoned as rural residential. It's not a conservation. There was no restrictive covenant other than it was on the structure plan, but it wasn't on the title of the block, and it didn't have all of the levels of protection that would actually make it illegal to clear it in the true sense of it under the federal laws and other things. It's not been cleared to the ground. This can be replanted in the understory in the proposed revegetation. It's kept like the mature trees, which will retain the Carnaby cockatoo habitat and forage, and this can actually be enhanced and provide a better environmental outcome. And I believe that given the cost and the long protracted time that this has gone over, I don't think this is any incentive for anybody to use this as a precedent to do this same thing going forward. I think it's quite the opposite, in fact. So I'm happy to support the alternative motion and encourage the other councillors to put this matter to rest in the interest of, it's been going on for nearly 18 months now.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes.
Thanks.
Councillor speaking against. Councillor Curtis.
Look, this has been going on forever because he wants to challenge it. The applicant wants to challenge it. Now, if you didn't clear the land and came to council or came to the Shire and asked where can I build on, if you didn't know, but he most probably did. If it was my land, I would have checked on where I could build. Now, we might as well get rid of our planning department and let anyone run the place. You know, that's what you're voting for, basically. What do we want to have a town planner for? We could save ourselves lots of money not having the planning department. It's crazy.
Councillor Curtis, you done?
Yeah.
Councillor Angus.
Apart from what I've already said, there's probably only 2 other things I'd like to say. First of all, perhaps Councillor Hughes can show me after the meeting where on that photograph the mature trees are that she's talking about in that cleared building envelope that's all been compacted.
All around the whole
Yeah, but
property.
not in that cleared area. There is no mature trees. And only to reiterate that this could have been resolved very early on and at minimal cost if Bailey had acknowledged his mistake and built in the approved building envelope and revegetated. Easy, done.
No right reply.
No, but I can make a personal explanation.
Okay.
So it's the total clearing of the whole block that exceeds 10,000, not just that building envelope. So in the whole rest of the block where it's been accused to have been cleared, it's not totally cleared. There's a lot of mature trees being left.
Yeah, but not in that building envelope.
All
There
right.
are in the other one.
No, I think let's keep it to the debate. Councillor Angus, you
I've finished,
finished?
thank you.
Thank you. Councillors speaking for.
Yeah, I'll speak for. So, for me, this unauthorised clearing is very concerning, and I definitely don't condone that in any way. However, enforcement of illegal clearing is a separate statutory process. The responsibility tonight is to assess this application on its present planning merits. Based on the current condition of that land, the relocated building envelope does not create any additional environmental disturbance. In fact, the development within the original envelope may result in a removal of additional mature vegetation. On this balance, and subject to obviously the rehabilitation conditions, I believe that this approval achieves a better overall environmental and a community outcome than continuing to refuse it. So I support the alternative motion.
Thank you, Councillor Grant. Councillor Fawkes-Taylor.
Yeah, I acknowledge the fact that the proponent did make a mistake initially. However, I support the alternative motion as I believe he has gone above and beyond to ensure the revegetation plan exceeds the vegetation removed, delivering a genuine net environmental gain and strengthening the long-term rural landscape and character of the property, including cockatoo boxes and retaining larger trees in the original building envelope. The proponent has also addressed and satisfied all fire safety requirements, ensuring the outcome is both environmentally responsible and compliant with fire safety expectations. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Fawkes-Taylor. Councillor Dewar.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to bang on about this because it's been a lot of discussion over a long period of time and there's a lot of people being frustrated and a lot of resources being, chewed up. Look, it's been flogged to death. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm getting a little bit sick of it, and that's a personal response. But there needs to be common sense added here tonight. And I think I'm absolutely certain this alternative motion will add some common sense. Therefore, I'm going to support it, and so we can move on and look forward to tomorrow. Thanks.
I have right to reply. There's nothing else really to reply to. We'll put the substantive motion to the vote. All those in favour? All those against? Carried 5-2. So, as per the Local Government Administration Regulations, Regulation 11, we will document the reason for the approving this motion as opposed to the officer's recommendation as being that Council considers it to be consistent with the Shire of Chittering's planning framework as the amount of revegetation proposed achieves an acceptable environmental outcome to support the proposed building envelope relocation. Thank you, councillors. Moving to technical service, TS 010226, Bindoon Landfill Trash and Treasure Trail. Councillor Fawkes-Taylor has declared a proximity interest in this item and will leave council chambers in accordance with section 5.67 of the Local Government Act. Yeah. Thanks. So, just note Councillor Fawkes-Taylor left the room at 7:48 p.m. Thank you. So, Bindoon Landfill Trash and Treasure Trail. Do we have trail? Thanks, Councillor Curtis. Do we have a mover? Councillor Curtis. And a seconder? Councillor Angus, thank you. Councillor Curtis, wish to talk to it?
Thanks, Mr. President. The officer's recommendation is to instruct the CEO to commence a trash and treasure trial at the Bindoon landfill for 6 months, starting in April. As two, instruct the CEO to inform ratepayers and general public of the 6-month trash and treasure trial period through social media and website and such. And 3, instruct the CEO to report back to council after the trial period has concluded on the feasibility of the trash and treasure program continuing, whilst allowing the service to continue during this period. And authorise the CEO to terminate the trial period if significant issues arise as a direct result of the service. I just want to add a few things. Now, this trash and treasure pickup area. It forms part of the waste management hierarchy through the state government and also the local government, which is in our strategic waste management plan. If no one's read it, that's what it is, and it's in there about the landfill, the transfer station in Bindoon to direct reusable goods from the landfill to the picking area, and that's the 3 R's of the waste management hierarchy: is reduce, reuse, and recycle. And this one's the number 2, reuse. And if people reduce their rubbish, we wouldn't have all this problem about rubbish going in the landfill. People buy too much packaging and things they don't need. Anyway, I hope you support this recommendation, and I'd like to make an amendment as well.
We have to have it seconded before an amendment, correct? Yep. So I think Councillor Angus, you have seconded it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amendment to include on that, well, if it gets passed, investigate the possibility of community involvement after the successful trial.
We already tried that.
Won't we?
No, we haven't tried that. Not with this.
Let him just do it again. Sorry, Councillor Curtis.
Investigate the possibility of community involvement after a successful trial.
Please.
So, Councillor Curtis, with due respect to what you're trying to achieve here, I think it might be more appropriate when this comes back to Council after the 6 months with our report on how it went, to then raise that we then look for community involvement, if you are looking for that after the trial anyway. So it might be best to...
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'll go with that.
So we remove it then?
Yeah, remove that, didn't I?
Thanks, Councillor Curtis.
Is that it?
Yep.
Sorry, Councillor Angus, would you like to speak to it?
Yes, thank you. I commend Councillor Curtis on his commitment to finding ways to help us work towards meeting the objectives of the West Australian Waste Management Strategy. While there may be some concerns about the dumping of inappropriate items at the trash and treasure site, an extra workload for tip staff, adhering to the Bindoon Waste Facility documented procedures should mitigate those concerns and risks. I'm happy to support the officer's recommendation to commence a trial period with the hope of positive outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Councillor speaking against the item? Want to speak for? No? Good. Yeah, just to commend Councillor Curtis, I think it's a good initiative. So hopefully the trial is a success. We'll put that to the... Councillor Curtis, right reply?
Yeah, I think the officer's recommendation to have this trial, very well done.
Put that to the vote. All in favour? 4. All those against? Carried 4-2. So Councillor Fox-Taylor can now re-enter the council chambers at 7:53 p.m. Oh, she's quick. 7:53 p.m. Moving on to corporate services, CS01-0226, list of accounts paid for the period ending of 31st December 2025. Do I have a mover? Councillor Angus, sorry. Seconder? Hughes, sorry. Thanks, Councillor Graham. Councillor Hughes, you want to speak for it?
Nothing seemed out of the ordinary to me. It all looked to be in good order.
Councillor Graham?
Nothing to add.
Any councillor want to speak against it? No? Councillor Hughes, the right reply.
Unreplied.
Put that to the vote. All in favour? Carried 7-0. So CS02-0226, monthly financial reports for the period ending 31st of December 2025. Do we have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Fox-Taylor. Seconder? Councillor Graham. Councillor Fox-Taylor, you wish to speak for it?
I would like to just congratulate the staff on presenting a detailed financial report for the period ending December 31st. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Greyer.
No, all good.
Thank you. Anyone wish to speak against it? Anyone for? Put it to the vote. All in favour? Carried 7-0. CS 030226, list of accounts paid for the period ending 31 January 2026. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Hughes. Seconder? No, I'll second it. Councillor Hughes, would you like to speak to it?
Only to say that I once again reviewed all of the accounts paid and everything looked to be in order to me.
Thank you. I have nothing further to add. Anyone wish to speak, Councillor wish to speak against it? Anyone for? Councillor Hughes, right reply?
None required.
Put it to the vote. All in favour? Carried 7-0. Then CS 040226, monthly financial report for the period ending 31 January 2026. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Fox-Taylor. A seconder?
Again, I'd like to congratulate the staff on presenting a detailed financial report for the period ending January 31. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Fox-Taylor. I have nothing to add. Anyone wish to speak against it? For it? I reply. Councillor Fox-Taylor?
No, thank you.
Put that to the vote. All those in favour? Carried 7-0. CS 050226, the 2025-2026 budget review. This is to receive the 2025-2026 budget review as presented. Do we have a mover?
No.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. A seconder? Oh, thank you, Councillor Greyer. Councillor Curtis, you wish to speak to it?
Yeah, I read through the statistics and all that, and there's one or two things there. Did the contractor sleep overnight in the Musée tip when he was locked in?
I think that was, that's not the, I think you're on the health and safety report at the moment. Not on the
Budget.
This is the budget reviews.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I must have wrote the one wrong down. And what if batteries are stolen? Is that
Different.
That's a different item,
Different.
is
Councillor
it?
Curtis.
Oh,
We
I
are
got
on
it
the
all
budget
mixed
review.
up.
You still happy to move the budget review?
Yeah, I'll move it.
All right, thank you.
I wrote down the wrong number.
Councillor Greyer,
It's this one.
all good?
Did he speak to it?
Well, do you want to speak to it?
No.
No. So, any councillor wish to speak against it? Any councillor for?
I've got that one.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. We had a good discussion about this and got a thorough explanation at the agenda forum. And I only had one question which was answered, and I was happy with the answer, and it all looked very good and in order to me, and I believe that we are in surplus, so we're on track to meet our budget by the end of
Oh,
the year.
yes, yeah, we're here.
Anyone that councillors want to speak to it or against it? I'll just add that the review demonstrates that the Shire is on stable financial footing. It highlights the ability to adapt to unforeseen changes, managing our costs effectively and maximising the value for our community. The transparent reporting was clear, and the communication of the budget amendments further reinforces the public trust in our governments. I just commend the officers and all involved for their professionalism and attention to detail. By adopting this review, we affirm our commitment to the accountability, good governance, and the delivery of quality services and infrastructure to the people of Chittering. Right or reply, Councillor Curtis?
Nothing to add.
So I'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you.
Let's see.
CS 060226, the Bindoon Bowling Green replacement. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Fox-Taylor. Did you take it?
Just.
And then second, would be Councillor Dewar. Thank you. Councillor Fawkes-Taylor, would you wish to speak to it?
Yeah, look, it was a detailed recommendation by the councils, which I support, to approve the replacement of the bowling green turf, along with the required acquittal terms, as it will benefit the longevity of the bowling club, as well as enhancing the Chinkabee complex and community members who use the facility, as well as those into the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Dewar?
Thanks, Mr President. Yeah, totally support this officer recommendation. Arguably the Bindoon Bowling Club would be the biggest, most consistently used sporting body in the Shire for probably a heck of a long time. Great for people to get out and socialise and, all those really good things that comes from playing team sports and obviously you play individual bowls. But no, I'm a big supporter of anything to improve sporting resources in the Shire.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Any members would like to speak against the item? No. Speak for it? Thank you, Councillor Angus.
Thank you. There's been an agreement since somewhere around 2006, and I'm not sure if it's a documented agreement or not, but the agreement was that replacement costs of the bowling green surface at Chinkabee Complex will be shared equally between the Bindoon Bowling Club, Bindoon Sport and Rec Association and the Shire of Chittering. The Bowling Club and the Sport and Rec Association raised funds through member fees, fundraising and bar sales to contribute their share. It was identified during the facility review discussions that the synthetic green was failing and would need replacement within a few years. At that time, it was expected that the Shire's contribution would be around $100,000. Due to the bowling club securing an insurance payout of $122,000 due to the early failure of the current green, the Shire's one-third contribution amount is reduced to $48,000. So I'm happy to support the officer's recommendation to approve the replacement of the bowling green surface, and I'm satisfied that the clubs have fully investigated the replacement options, assessed the value for money and actively fundraised towards their contribution to the costs.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Councillor Curtis, did you?
I support the officer's recommendation fully.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes.
Thank you. This project demonstrates excellent shared responsibility and financial prudence, with $122,000 received through insurance and nearly $100,000 contributed by the club and the Bindoon Sport and Rec Association. The Shire's proposed share represents less than 20% of the total project cost. The partnership shows true community ownership and reduces future financial burden on council. The project aligns with the Shire's strategic community plan, supporting recreational opportunities and responsible financial management. In conclusion, it's a modest but strategic and community-minded investment that secures the long-term viability of a valued local facility, demonstrates sound fiscal management, supports active living and rewards the initiative of the club that continually gives back to the community. And I urge councillors to endorse the officer recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes. Any other councillors wish to speak for? Right, reply, Councillor Fawkes-Taylor.
No, I'm happy with everyone's comments.
We'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you. Chief Executive Officer, CEO 010226, Work Health and Safety Statistics Reports, monthly and quarterly. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Angus. Seconder? Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Councillor Angus, you wish to speak to the motion?
Thank you. As always, it's good to receive this report. Also good to see that there were once again no positive drug and alcohol tests. And it's also good to see the near misses and incidents being reported, because this leads to education, increased work safety and identification of possible issues and risks. So thank you for the report.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Councillor Curtis?
Yeah, I'd support the officer's recommendation, and just a few things I've seen in the stats here is as a contractor that was locked in overnight down there. I don't know how he got out.
Just could say he did not stay overnight, he was just in the premises when the gate was locked.
They got him
Okay.
out. And also, there've been so many thieves down that way, because there's been some batteries stolen again. And I know we're going to put some CTV cameras down there, but is it going to stop it?
Yep, Commissioner Wah.
CCTV cameras will not necessarily stop thieves, and it might not even lead to the capture of the thieves, but it will definitely serve as a deterrent, and it will assist us in identifying the problem areas and perhaps being able to supply the police with some additional information which we are not currently able to do.
And thanks. And I don't know if it was in, I think it was in that report, somebody's tooth got knocked out or something with the,
Yeah, please, I wouldn't know.
is he all right or she?
He's all right. It was just, it was one of those unnecessary things that happens when somebody is in a hurry. He was pulling open, it was a volunteer, one of the brigade members pulling open a tray on one of the brigade vehicles, and one of the shackles flung up and chipped the tooth.
Can be very dangerous.
But I was also surprised, but it wasn't while it was attached to anything. It was a loose one in the vehicle.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Anyone wish to speak against the motion? Speak for. Right, a reply, Councillor Angus.
Not required, thank you.
Put that to the vote. All in favour? Yep. Carried 7-0. CEO 020226 Ferguson House Lease, Bundoon Family Chiropractic. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Fawkes-Taylor. A seconder? Thank you, Councillor Angus. Councillor Fawkes-Taylor, wish to speak to it?
Yes, I support the officer's recommendation to approve the five-year lease of Ferguson House to Bindoon Family Chiropractic, as this continues to enhance the community's health and wellbeing offerings locally. Ferguson House had not been utilised to its full capacity, and I believe the opportunity to provide a lease contract with Bindoon Family Chiropractic provides additional services to the community and a little bit of income to the Shire.
Thank you, Councillor Fawkes-Taylor. Councillor Angus.
Thank you. I'm happy to support the officer's recommendation to agree to a 5-year lease to Bindoon Family Chiropractic. They've been providing a valuable service to our community in Ferguson House since 2023, and it's pleasing to hear that they intend to continue that service and in fact increase the services they provide. I'm also supportive of the rental terms proposed, as this will increase the Shire's rental income over the next 5 years while also activating a much underutilised space. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Any councillors speaking against the motion? Anyone wish to speak for it? No. Right, a reply, Councillor Fawkes-Taylor.
Not required, thank you.
Put that to the vote. All in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you. So CEO 030226, delegation dwelling unfit for habitation. We have a councillor motion before you. Do I have a mover?
I'll move it.
Who wants it? Councillor Curtis? Seconder? Thank you, Councillor Angus. Councillor Curtis?
Yeah, I support the officer's recommendation. I wondered, just a query, why wouldn't the health manager have been responsible for this in the first place? If somebody's got rubbish all over the front yard, haven't we got legislation to tell these people to clean up or get out?
I'll let you
I don't know.
respond to that. CEO?
Okay, so this is a new delegation which we haven't had before, and this was to declare a building inhabitable. So we haven't had to deal with anything like this in the past, and it's the first time that we've needed to do that. So in the absence of a delegated authority to to our health officers, it would have to come to council every time that we might come across such a building, and it might have unnecessary delays.
I just wanted the health, what's his title again?
Environmental health officer?
Yeah, the main man.
It's a lady, but yes,
Oh,
at
it's
the
a
moment we
woman.
don't have that delegation.
Oh, I thought he, okay. Yeah, no, it's good to make sure that don't have all these rat infested places around.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Councillor Angus?
Only to say that being mindful of the confidential property issue we had late last year, I'm happy to support this.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Anyone speaking against? Any councillors speaking for it? Thank you, Councillor Hughes.
The only thing I'd add is that if the building is unfit for habitation, it would present quite an urgent situation. So the quicker it can be dealt with, I think that's certainly in the public interest.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes. Anyone else? Councillor Curtis, right or reply?
Nothing more to add.
I'll put that to the vote. All in favour? 7-0. So CEO 040426 policy review, schedule and template change. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Angus. Seconder? I'll take it. Councillor Angus?
Thank you. I'm happy to support this officer recommendation. I know we've discussed in the past what a benefit it would be if we could spread the policy review over a period of time and not be hit with the whole lot all in 1 month or 2 meetings. And the new template I'm happy to support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. So I fully support the introduction of the structured policy review schedule and updated templates. I suppose this approach will ensure our policies remain current, clear and compliant while spreading the review workload over time. It will make it easier for council and the community to understand our government's framework. So fully support it. Anyone speaking, councillor speaking against?
No.
Anyone else wish to speak for? Councillor Angus, right or reply?
Nothing to add, thank you.
Put that to the vote. All in favour? Carried 7-0. CEO 050226, mid-year corporate performance report 2025-26. Do I have a mover? I'll move it. Seconder? Councillor Angus. So speak for it. I'd like to commend the team, the CEO, for the quality and the professionalism which I suppose was for this year's mid-year corporate performance report, which has been prepared and presented. The report is clear, well structured and provides a comprehensive overview of the progress against the corporate business plan and our annual implementation plan. The use of the performance indicators, financial summaries and the risk assessment make it easy for both council and the community to understand our current position and the rationale behind our key decisions. So the mid-year corporate performance report for 2026 demonstrates that the Shire is largely on track with its service delivery, with its financial management, and it's also encouraging to see that 89% of the corporate business plan initiatives is at 89%, and the 94% of projects have either been completed or on track or appropriately staged. So the report also highlights a favourable financial position with operating and capital expenditure tracking as expected and a strong rates collection. So overall it's a good mid-year performance report. So thank you. Councillor Angus.
Thank you. I don't think there's much more I could add to your comments. I agree with them implicitly. The only thing perhaps is that I found it very easy to see the picture of the report, easy to understand, so thank you for that.
Any councillors wish to speak against it? L4? Sorry, Councillor Curtis.
Yeah, a good report. I read it. It's good to see in and there investigation into a small unit fit for purpose housing in the planning stages, so that's good. And another thing I think, the employee cost above budget at Miche Tip. I wonder why that would have been through the chair if Melinda knows anything.
CEO.
So there were several reasons for us being slightly over cost at the Miche Tip. Some of it is that some of the resources that were allocated to the Bandoon Tip were used at the Miche Tip, so those journals had to be put through. And other than that, there's been a staff roster change when there was a need for additional work to be done. So that increased some of the costs, which we have mitigated in the second half of the year. So it's a combination of several factors that cause us to be over budget at the initiative.
Thank you.
It's nothing to do with that loose tooth, is it?
Any other councillors wish to comment? No. I have no right reply. I'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Carried 7-0. So CO 06-0226, Lower Chittering Youth and Community Hub, the project status report. Do we have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Fawkes-Taylor. Seconder? Thank you, Councillor Angus. Councillor Fawkes-Taylor?
I just wanted to say that the report was nice and easy to read, and it's really good to see that the Lower Chittering Youth and Community Hub project is moving along nicely. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Fawkes-Taylor. Councillor Angus?
Thank you. I'm happy to receive the project status report. Also excited to see this progressing, although the estimated operational date of October 2026 seems like a long, long way away. I look forward to seeing this hub completed and begin to be used, and I hope this is just the beginning of improved facilities for those living in that part of our shire.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Anyone wish to speak against? Any councillors for? No. Councillor Fawkes-Taylor, right reply?
I have nothing else to add, thank you.
Thank you. I'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Carried 7-0. So item 10, reports of committees, there are null. Item 11, motions of which previous notice have been given. It's MWP N010226, waste management costs, Councillor John Curtis. Do I have a mover? Councillor Curtis. Seconder? Councillor Angus. Thank you. Councillor Curtis, would you wish to speak to it?
Yes, the motion is that the council directs the CEO to facilitate a workshop with council to examine waste management costs and the recovery of those costs from residents and ratepayers of the Shire of Chittering through various funding sources, including rates and receptacle charges. This workshop will bring out all the costs that cost to run our waste management, or should do, and where we can save costs and where it's costing us money, and like the inequitable fee structures that are in place at the moment, that the majority of our, well, 3/4 of our ratepayers are paying for the disposal costs of their rubbish, where 800 or that amount, maybe a bit less, they're not paying any disposal cost for their rubbish. So it's very inequitable, and something has to be done. And I don't know where all this started from, and that's what these workshops will try to examine, where it all come about, why it's been inequitable for all these years, from the day Avon Waste started their collection service, and we've employed them and all their costs. So I think it'd be a good thing for the council to consider, because a lot of our expenses in this shire goes to our waste disposal and waste management, and if we don't get on top of it in years to come, the costs are only going to increase, and if we don't do something about our rubbish, we could be in big trouble in the future.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Councillor Angus?
Thank you. I haven't dived into the rubbish as deeply as Councillor Curtis has. However, I am aware through talking to him that there are, well, we all know that there's big costs involved in running our waste sites, our rubbish tips. So there's more to the costs than just the rubbish bin collection. And yeah, there is an unfair division of the costs involved, which we should look at and just see if we can make it more equitable for everybody. We've got some big costs coming up in the future to finish off our rubbish tips that are beginning to get to the end of their lifespan. So rubbish is something we need to be looking at.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Anyone wish to speak against the motion?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you, Councillor Dewar.
I don't know what this motion is actually all about. This inequitable, collection of rates and resources to dispose of rubbish. I'm not that clear on. Surely this is an issue for the staff to sort out rather than us to delve into. I can't see the point of it, and I mean, if it hasn't been if it's been equitable or unequitable so far, why are we, if it's been equitable up until now, why are we changing? Why do we need to do this? Seems to me more bureaucracy for very, very little gain.
Thank you, Councillor Dewar. Any other councillors wish to speak for or against? Councillor Hughes.
I'll speak for it. Although we do get a fairly in-depth conversation during our budget deliberations on all of these costs, it could potentially be lost in the volume of other things we discuss at the same time, so perhaps having a workshop on it. We can revisit that specifically in more detail, and I think that there's other opportunities to find out more about if additional routes are added and how those costs are incorporated overall and for those individual properties being added, because that has recently come up also. So I'm happy to support having a workshop on this topic.
Thank you, Councillor Hughes. Yeah, I must say I do agree with you. It's worthwhile having the workshop and seeing how the rates, the costs to do the waste collection and run the tips is well worth it. So yeah, I support it. So any other councillors wish to speak for or against? Councillor Curtis, write a reply.
Just to reply to Councillor Dewar, more bureaucracy. Well, this is what we paid for, Mr. Councillor Dewar. We paid for this waste management plan, and it's all in there about the cost, and we don't, I don't know how much, I can't remember how much this cost. Must have been 30, 40 grand. So what are we wasting money on there if we don't do anything about it? That's all I've got to.
Thanks, Councillor Curtis. Put that to the vote. All those in favour? All those against? Carried 6-1. Thank you. Item 12, questions from members without notice. Councillors, do you have any questions without notice you'd like to ask? No? Sorry, Councillor Angus.
I did actually ask it earlier, but nothing's been said about it. I was querying, we haven't yet seen the minutes from the annual electors meeting, which normally would have been presented and the motions brought to the next ordinary council meeting. So just to clarify when we will receive that, please.
I know it's March 2025, but do you want to confirm the exact date or for the March 2025?
The minutes from the meeting we had a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
Yes.
So during the preamble to the start of that meeting, we have indicated that the minutes of that meeting and all motions to that will be brought to the March OCM to allow the staff enough time to prepare the minutes and any information for motions put by the meeting. So it was in the preamble to the start of that meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Item 13, new business of an urgent nature introduced by the decision of the meeting. There are none. And then item 14, meeting closed to the public. There are none. Closure, declare the meeting closed at 23 minutes past 8. Thank you.
That was a big report you did on that.
I spent some time.
Has it got any,
Sorry.
all that about being council?
I'm going to put it in writing. The complaint has to go in writing within 21 days.